loan of 650,000 from a bank charging 11%. Interest per annum compounded monthly. If monthly payments are to be made are $10,000, how long will it take to clear the loan? So as before, it is crucial in as much as we are dealing with a similar question that we dealt with in example 1. Our PV is going to be $650,000. Our R, which is the rate of interest, is 0.11 or 11%. Then this is being compounded monthly. So our I is 12 months. Then we're looking for the time it will take when we are given the PMT of 10,000. So from equation 3, we are going to substitute each and every variable that we have. And as before, we are going to make sure that each and every variable is in place. Right, so we have the PV. PV appears one time, and it happens to be in the numerator of the numerator. Right, so it appears once, so we have our 650,000 there in place. We also have our PMT, which is in the denominator of the numerator, so that appears once. We have our 10,000. We move on to our R. So we have R in two places, one in the numerator of the numerator and the second position in the numerator of the denominator. So we have 0.11 in two places, so we substitute it in the right place. Now we look for I. So our I here is 12. So let's forget about the I on the left hand side and focus on the I's on the right hand side. So we've got I's in two places. So the I is in the denominator of the numerator and in the denominator of the denominator. So we substitute our I-12 in both places. So with that, we see that we have actually substituted for each and every variable, and we have done so properly. So the next thing, of course, would be to simplify whatever we have within the pair of brackets or parentheses so that we avoid making unnecessary mistakes. So considering the first fraction that we have in the numerator, we've got 650,000 divided by 10,000. That can be easily simplified because the zeros will clear out. We've got 4 zeros in the denominator and 4 zeros in the numerator. That will give us a 65. That simplifies our work. And of course, in the second fraction in the numerator, we have 0.11 divided by 12. That can be expressed as a fraction in this manner, 11 over 1,200. But you don't need to do that. You can just leave it as it was. Now, in the denominator, I decided to express that fraction as 11 over 1,200. So with that, then, I know that I can combine the two fractions. Well, not the two fractions per se, but I have 65 times the 11 over 1,200. That multiplied by 65 would give me 715. So this is basically multiplying 65 times 11, giving us 715 over 1,200. Now in the denominator, I see that if I add 1 plus 11 over 1,200, I can express this as a decimal because I can do that or keep it as a fraction. But now if I express it as a decimal, I'd rather keep it to 5 or 6 decimal places. But of course, I would advise you to make sure that you keep it to minimum 4 decimal places. And yeah, well, 6 decimal places is fine, but there's no need to. So, but I'll just keep it at 6 decimal places because I don't want my answer to be too different from the answer that I'm supposed to get. Right, so with that then, we are going to have that. And of course, simplifying further what we have in the numerator, we are going to have, so 1 minus 715 over 1,200, that would give us the natural log of 485 over 1,200 divided by the same denominator we had in the previous step. Now, simplifying what we have in the numerator, we are going to get a negative 0.90593. So let's keep that to 5 decimal places. Then also when we evaluate the natural log of 1.009167, we are going to get 0.009125. Now, this is a fraction that is easy to evaluate. And of course, we see that we've got two negatives over here. So we know that a negative times a negative would give us a positive. So that would come out as positive. And dividing the values that we have, we are going to get an I of 99.28 months. So it would approximately take 100 months to clear this particular loan. And also, it is also important to note that we can express this in terms of years because we know that our I is 12. So substituting for the I, which is 12, so we are going to say 12n is equals to 99.28 and dividing throughout by 12 in order to get n. The n comes out as 8 years, and the 0.273 times 12 months, because that is just a decimal. But we know that in a year we have 12 months. So multiplying that with the 12 months, at the end, we are going to get 8 years and 4 months. So that will be the time it would take to clear the loan. So one other thing to take note of as well is the final payment after the 99 months won't necessarily be the $10,000, because take a look at this. We are paying for a period of 0.273 of the year. So meaning that the final balance would be given by the value of the loan after 100 months minus the future value payments up to the 99th month. So that difference there would give us the final payment that has to be made, and that payment should be less than $10,000. So that's how we would solve this particular question.